Child, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but I have to admit that this stuffed meatloaf recipe is better than my Not Your Mama's meatloaf, and I cannot believe I just outdo myself each and every time. Now, the whole goal here is for this to be the absolute best tasting, best looking, and the best thing you ever had. I start by pulling the casing off my plant-based Italian spicy sausage. Next, I'm going to add in my Impossible ground meat. I'm going to give that a nice mix around. Now, you can use alternatives, but as I said, we want to use the best, so try to use what I use. Next, we're going to go ahead and add in our diced onions, celery, red bell pepper, and green bell pepper. Then I add in a pack of onion soup mix and my red house seasoning, which has all the seasonings that you need. Next, we're going to add in some seasoned panko breadcrumbs and some flaxseed meal, which is our egg substitute. And then we're going to add in some extra creamy oat milk and give it a nice mix around until it's nice and firm. Add in some Italian seasoning and garlic powder and set to the side. Next, we're going to work on our filling. I'm going to take some frozen spinach that I thawed out and I squeezed out the extra water. I add in my dairy-free Boursin cheese. Then I add in some Tabasco sauce, some vegan Worcestershire sauce, and some vegan mozzarella cheese. I give that a nice mix around. Then I add in some plant-based mayo to make it super creamy. And I also add in some nutritional yeast, which is going to give it a cheesy flavor. Baby, your girl went to town, so this meatloaf is bigger than expected. So I'm not going to use a loaf pan. Instead, I'm going to take a baking dish that I sprayed with some nonstick spray. And I'm going to layer half of my mixture and form it into the shape of a meatloaf. Then I'm going to take that spinach dip mixture. I'm going to put it on the inside and make sure it's spread almost to the edges, and then I'll add in my second layer, which will be the remaining meatloaf mixture. And I'll make sure I cover all those pockets of the cheese because we don't want it to ooze out. I'm going to put a little bit of water in this baking dish, that way it doesn't burn at the bottom, and I'm going to top it with my red house seasoning. I cover the meatloaf with aluminum foil and put it in my oven that's been preheated to 400 degrees. In the meantime, I'll be working on my sauce, which is super simple, which is ketchup, red house season, vegan Worcestershire sauce, and some brown sugar. In my previous meatloaf recipes, I always cook down my sauce with a little bit of onion soup mix, but my red house seasons literally have everything it needs, so I no longer need to do that. So after about 40 minutes in the oven, I take my sauce and I spread it all across my meatloaf. And I'm going to put this back in the oven, uncover, for another 20 minutes. And of course, I got a question for you within this video. I made these jalapeno cornmeal dusted biscuits. Let me know if you want the full recipe for that, and I'll drop that as well. Now back to this meatloaf. Now, once this meatloaf is out of the oven, do let it sit for about 20 to 25 minutes. Don't worry, it will hold its heat, but you do want it to firm up. And take a look at this. It is absolutely delicious. You can serve this to anyone. You don't even have to tell them that it's vegan. Serve this dish up with your favorite sides and enjoy. If you want more recipe ideas, make sure you're following Chef Joya. And you can find even more detailed recipes in my cookbooks at cookingwithjoya.com. Ciao.